So in this video, I want to talk about how to write a CV. The tips in this video are tips that I have used when I have written my CV when I was looking for a job. I hope that they are helpful for you and they are something that you can use, especially if you are a new time job seeker, and hopefully they can add some value to you as well. Hi guys, my name is Nosisa and thank you very much for watching my video. Sometimes it takes just a few minor changes for our CVs so that our CVs are more appealing to recruiters. Remember, when recruiters are looking through job applications, they're looking at thousands and thousands and thousands of applications sometimes, and they just quickly glance through them. So you want to make sure that you give them as much information, relevant information, so that your CV is more appealing and that you can be chosen or shortlisted for the job. So the definition of a CV is a short written description of your education, your qualifications, your previous jobs, and sometimes personal interests that you send to employer when you're applying for a job. The first tip is to make sure that your CV is short, it's impactful, and that it is easy to read. Remember that your CV is your first point of contact between you and your potential new employer. So you want to make sure that your CV is easy to read, so preferably using a font that is simple like Arial, and you summarize your points in bullet form. The standard things to include on your CV are your name, your address, and your contact details. These details should be easy so that the potential interviewer or recruiter can easily contact you. And you can also include your LinkedIn profile as well. So the first thing is to introduce yourself. This can be a summary and highlights of what you can offer to that potential interviewer. Summarizing your career highlights that will draw attention to what you have accomplished. These can also be tailored for the role that you're applying for and make you stand out from the competition. Second tip is to summarize your skills. Use bullet points when you're summarizing your skills and your experience that are specific to the role that you're applying for. If possible, you can use the same words, adjectives that were also used in the application that you are responding to. Highlight relevant experience. This section can include your work history in the most recent historical order, with your recent job being at the top of the page. Here you include all of your paid work, relevant volunteer, or work experience placements. It's important to tailor this section of your CV to the job, specifically where key responsibilities from your previous jobs align with the one that you're now applying for. A tip here is also to highlight any challenges that you face personally and also as a team member. You also want to shout out your achievements. So remember that a CV is an opportunity to sell yourself and to highlight why you are the best fit for the job. So it's important to highlight where you have gone above and beyond and you have made significant achievements. So if your achievements are measured by number, for example, you made sales increase by 5%, also just include that in your CV so that you can also make yourself stand out more. Or if you're new to the job market, you can mention any achievements that you accomplished at school or university or college. List any training, education, and courses. List what is relevant and required for the role that you're applying for. It's important to showcase where you have upskilled and also where you can add value to the organization that you want to work for. The next one is optional if you want to do it. That is to mention any interests or hobbies. This is where you highlight your personality and what you like to do outside of work. Also make references on request. You can make your list of references available to the potential employer when the request for references at a later stage, if that's what you're comfortable with. Phone your references and tell them that there's a possibility that they'll get a phone call from somebody about the position so that they are prepared for the phone call. So 5 final tips as well that can help are use the right keywords so that your CV is picked up on search. So for example, if you're doing accounting, you can say prepared bank reconciliations. And so when a recruiter is on the internet looking for someone who's done bank reconciliations, your CV is likely to be picked up. Also, don't use small letters when writing your name. Explain any gaps in your CV. So, for example, if you took a gap year, make sure that you say you took a gap year in your CV so that a potential recruiter can see why exactly you have gaps in your CV. If you've moved from company to company to company, recruiters may look at you as a potential flight risk. So it's important to also write down your reasons for leaving so that when someone picks up your CV, they know why exactly you moved around so much. You can actually turn this around for your benefit. For example, yes, you did move around from different company to company to company. However, the flip side of that is that you've been exposed to many industries and many work environments, and these are the things that you've learned in all of those different jobs. Anything that can look like a negative on your CV, try to see how you can turn this around to be a positive thing that you've learned from and that you've grown from and gained experience from as well. Don't use acronyms or organization related terminology. These acronyms are words that are specific to your organization that may not be widely used words. So try not to write a CV with these type of specific acronyms and use words that are likely to be searchable and understood by the recruiter. Remember to include two forms of contact, your email and your contact number. So make sure you also do a spelling and grammar check so that the CV that you send out doesn't have any errors and doesn't have a negative impact on your potential recruiter. You can ask a family or your friend to just look at your CV and see if it makes sense, and they can also maybe give you tips on what to change and how to change it, especially if they've got more experience in that area, and hopefully this can help you out as well. Thank you for watching and goodbye.